Are you stationed at or PCSing to Creech or Nellis Air Force Base? Or maybe you're a veteran, reservist, or National Guard member looking to buy a home in Las Vegas? If so, you might be wondering, how do I actually use my VA loan benefits? Stick around, and I'm about to spill all the tea on how to leverage your VA loan to score an incredible home right here in Sin City. If we haven't met before, my name is Eric Hudson. My call sign is Newt, and I've been a realtor here in Las Vegas for over 10 years, specializing in helping our military community achieve their home ownership dreams after retiring from the Air Force with over 20 years of service. If you're looking for some PCS or relocation help, my information is below in the pinned comments, along with the info tab. Just reach out, call, text, email, and I can help. Better yet, get on my calendar. So, why is the VA loan such a game changer? First off, the VA loan has some of the best mortgage options out there if you are a qualified military member or a veteran. Why? Because you can often purchase a home with no down payment, no private mortgage insurance, and potentially a lower interest rate than a conventional loan. This is going to save you thousands of dollars over the life of the mortgage. So what's a common question? Is it really zero down? Short answer, yes, most of the time. As long as the purchase price doesn't exceed the home's appraised value, you generally won't need to put anything down. Do I still need closing costs? Here's the answer. Closing costs are separate from your down payment. With a VA loan, you can often negotiate with the seller to cover some or all of the closing costs, or better yet, if you purchase a new home, guess what? They often, like almost 100% of the time, will cover those costs for you. So what's your golden ticket? It's called the Certificate of Eligibility. One of the first steps in the home process for the VA loan is to obtain your Certificate of Eligibility, also known as the COE. This document proves that you meet the VA's requirement for a loan. You can apply for it through the VA's e-benefit portal or by mail, and sometimes your lender can pull it for you. I recommend that you have your lender pull it for you. If you have a lender that says pull it for yourself or can you provide it, that tells me up front that lender doesn't know much about the VA program, doesn't know how to provide it, doesn't know how to use the VA lender portal, and you should probably find yourself another lender because they're not going to do you very well, okay? Another question you may have, what if I've used my VA loan benefits before? Well, the answer is good news. You can use it as often as you want. Use it 100 times if you want. Buy a new house every year. As long as you've paid off the previous loan in full or have enough remaining entitlement. Remember that word, remaining entitlement. I'm going to explain it real briefly. There is no upper loan limit anymore as of about 4 years ago. But if you've used it, I'm going to make it real easy. Kind of use the limits of a conventional loan. And then now you're stuck with the entitlement. So we're going to use just real simple math. Let's say your entitlement is $700,000 and you have a $300,000 loan. That means you have $400,000 still left. So you got a $300,000 house. You can now turn that into a rental and not have to refinance it. And now you can go get a $400,000 house. Good on you. Next, understand the VA loan qualifications. To get approved for a VA loan, you'll need to meet certain basic requirements, which vary depending on whether you're active duty, a veteran, reservist, or guard. Now, then there are credit and income guidelines set by the lender, okay? While the VA doesn't have any strict credit score minimums, most lenders are typically going to look for a score in the low to mid 600s or higher. This is only for themselves. It's not required. Don't let that scare you off. There are cases where they will go much lower. Usually around here, I've seen most lenders set about 580. And especially if you have strong income or other compensating factors, I've seen them go down to about a 520. They may charge you a slightly higher interest rates. Now, next question I'll hear a lot, okay, I'm on active duty. Do I really qualify? Yes, it says veteran. Absolutely. Many active duty members, I did it twice myself on active duty, are able to purchase a home near the base and enjoy the benefits of this VA, aka Veterans Administration loan. What about National Guard and Reservists? Answer, if you meet the minimum requirements. Then it's usually 6 years of selective reserve or National Guard service. You can qualify as well and get those super low rates. I don't know if I mentioned that. You get lower rates. How much do I qualify for with a VA loan? Depends on your income and debt income ratio, and certain other things. There are no longer any local loan limits. You can borrow as much as you can afford. If you can afford a $2 million house, good you. General rule is you can borrow whatever you can afford. And the cool part is, let's say you can afford a $2 million house. Guess what? You get to buy a $2 million house with no money down and a low interest rate. So anybody else, they have to put all this money down, usually 20%, because they don't give you like a break when you're buying a $2 million house in this market. And then you got to get jumbo rates. No, you get to use your VA loan, get those super low rates and everything. No jumbos. Good you if you can do that. Okay, so let's map this out for you and how you actually go from thinking about buying a home to owning one using a VA loan here in the Las Vegas area. Now, first, we obtain that COE. You can do that ahead of time, especially if you're going to be using multiple lenders. I recommend checking out 2 to 3 lenders so you get the lowest rate. This person did not use a VA loan because they were not a veteran, but they go, well, I need you to contact a lender. I need you to tell them I'm a great buyer. I have over 800 credit score and they need to give me their best rate. Realtor can't do that. You need to contact the people yourself. They make that determination, just telling you that up front. That's why you need to contact a couple to make sure you get the best rate. Plus, you can play them off each other. I did that with my first loan. I did it by accident. I got my loan from wherever, a major military lender, and I was out with someone, and there was a lender there at an open house, and they said, well, we offer this. It was about 0.25% lower. I called up USAA, and they were like, okay, we'll match it. Yeah, saved me 0.25% just by going to an open house. So the COE, that's your proof of eligibility. Again, speak with a VA savvy lender, and even if they are savvy, they can be too savvy. I had an individual, I don't want to get too deep into their story. They decided they wanted to use a friend. Let's just say the friend didn't do them justice and didn't give them the benefit of a reach around. Cost them about $7,500 in fees. That's a good friend, isn't it? Share your financials with your lender, your pay stub, bank statements, credit details. You ain't hiding anything in this day and age. This helps figure out your price range, your strengths, your offers, and everything. When you're out house hunting, you really need to do this before you go house hunting. I know a lot of you are going to want to start with looking at houses first. It's the worst thing you can do because let me tell you, you think you can afford a $500,000 house. I'm just using an example. And then it comes back at $450,000. There is a huge difference between a $500,000 house and a $450,000 house. If you start looking at $500,000 and then your pre-approval comes back at $450,000 and you start now looking at $450,000 houses, you will start kicking yourself. Yeah, you don't want to do that. It's like when you start out and you're approved for $500,000, but you want to keep it at $450,000. You know that game, I want to keep it at $450,000. And then you just happen to look at one $500,000 house. You will never go back to looking at $450,000 houses. I've seen it too many times because people go like, they gave me an approval for $500,000, but I just want to look at $450,000 or whatever it is. Once you look at one, you will never go back because there's just a difference. When you start your house hunting, focus on the neighborhoods that are convenient to you, commuting to Creech or Nellis, especially if you want that shorter commute. Sometimes some people don't care about a longer commute. Look for areas like North Las Vegas, Centennial Hills, Aliante. Some of you may want to look all the way down in Summerlin. It's not that bad of a commute for Summerlin, especially for the prestige that some of you may get. I have seen some of the guys in my squadron who did live in Summerlin. They loved it down there because of it's Summerlin. And these can be popular among military communities. And don't forget the newer areas like Sky Canyon, Sky Hills, and Providence is always popular among the Creech crowd. I'll help you find the homes that meet the VA property standards and that have no major safety or structural issues because they are going to be looking for that. They want to make sure that you're not going to get screwed over, for lack of a better word. Then we're going to make an offer. Once you find the perfect place, we'll craft a competitive offer. You can ask the seller to cover some or all of your closing costs. Again, a lot of them, they could be walking away with hundreds of thousands of dollars. They don't want to cover $7,000 for you, but the new home builders always will, and it's going to be the same price anyway, and you get a new home. It's surprising. I just closed on a home, and the guy was just fighting over every little thing, and the guy was broke as a joke. I come to find out when I go through the closing documents, you can tell how broke he was because you can tell from little things. And it's like, you're broke as a joke. You're behind in every one of your bills. You can tell because all of his bills, because he's behind and everything, get paid off through the funds. He was walking away with 6 figures, but he wouldn't cover getting the house fixed for the buyer. It's amazing how this stuff is. But a new house, they fix that stuff. No matter what, I always recommend a house inspection to uncover any hidden issues before we go to closing. Underwriting, it's like the military. I keep saying, they're going to be strict. Your lender is going to review all the documents and finalize your final loan terms. If everything checks out, you'll get the green light to close. On closing day, you'll pay any final fees like the funding fee, unless you're exempt, and you'll sign the closing documents. So here's the thing. The funding fee is normally rolled into the loan. People talk about, I was told that I could roll my closing cost into the loan. That is incorrect. Some lenders have a separate loan where they will do that for you. That's a separate loan and has a high interest rate, but that's a separate thing. You're not just rolling it in. It may be whatever the terms they have. And I've seen people go like, oh, they rolled that into the loan for me. It didn't roll into it. It was a separate loan and they paid for it dearly. So sometimes you want to just roll your head. You'd be like, Then you're going to get your keys. You're going to have a little bit of congratulations, celebrations, and you're a new homeowner. So we'll just talk about some real life success stories. We're going to keep it PG and OPSEC friendly here. I had this guy out at Nellis, PCS stand from overseas. Be honest, at some point, going through the process, got frustrated, got through several homes that, was losing bids. This was right before things had changed in the market. We ended up getting the house for much less than he wanted because, it's for things that change because we had several changes over the last few years. And one of the things is they had gotten tired of waiting for the house, for the closing and everything because you got to go through a lot of stuff with VA loan. And they're like, we'll just stop and we'll just go rent someplace. And it's like, you shouldn't do this. No, talk them off the ledge. Close the next week. Well, I saw him not too long ago, and I'm like, are you glad we talked you off the ledge? And he was like, oh my God. I mean, right now, they got about $250,000 in equity. And it was he was like, thank you so much for talking me off the ledge. It's not an easy process. If it would be easy, I wouldn't say everyone would do it. But it's just the way it is. There are a few more little hoops you got to jump through. But trust me, when it's all said and done, you'll be happy you jumped through those hoops. I'm going to leave it at that. Next one, I got this one. This guy was 100% disabled, young guy seller. I actually helped several guys get into homes. And to be honest, this is pre-interest rate going up and like right before the prices went absolutely nuts. I mean, he got into, you should have seen the house he got into. I think it may get back that way again because right now, if you're 100% disabled, that's almost $4,000. And he was a single guy, young, under 30. If they're doing a 50% DTI, that's a $2,000 payment that you can afford. And I think his payment was, interest rates were in the twos. I think his payment was like $1,500 with everything. So we're talking like 30-something% for his DTI. These can be amazing things, especially if you're disabled. If you're 100% P&T and you got a job because you can still work at 100% P&T, or if you're a retiree at 100% P&T, VA loan is the place to be, and you can do some really cool things. And this guy traveled around the country doing his thing, enjoying life in his late 20s. So, he ended up paying less in a mortgage than he would have ever paid in rent. He could have never afforded a place, like even an apartment right now is more than he paid in rent for a full up house. Don't ever discount that. Go figure out what you can get for a house and what it's going to be in a few years. Next, let's go into some more frequently asked questions. What if I have a student loan debt or credit card debt? Don't panic. Lenders consider that, factor that into your debt to income ratio. As long as your monthly obligations aren't too high relative to your income, you can still qualify. Do I need to pay a funding fee each time I use the VA loan? Yes. Unless you have a service-connected disability, of course. And I'm going to tell you right now, you have your first-time loan. That is actually going to be your lowest one. Then they actually go up from there unless you put a higher down payment. So 5% or more, it actually lowers that to actually lower than the first time. How long does the home buying process take? Every time's different. The more familiar your lender is, this is why you want to use a lender and a realtor to kind of know what they're doing. It's about the same, so it should be about 30 days or so. One who's less familiar, it takes about 45 days. If you have your stuff already ready to go up front, even with the lender who's not familiar, like you already go ahead and pull your COE, I'm going to call it the 30-day mark. Just be on top of all of your paperwork. Can I rent out the home later? Short answer, yes. Long answer, don't try to rent it out the week after you buy it. I've seen people try to do that. That could be considered fraud. Generally, they expect this to be a primary residence, but they don't make it as specific as they do for like an FHA loan. FHA loan, they're specific. You have to live in it 1 year. VA loan that says you have to intend to live in it. That doesn't say anything. It's kind of like the VA when they talk about your service-connected disability, where it says you have to be paid for it. Instead of saying 10%, they say you have to be paid for a disability. They say you have to intend to live in it. That doesn't tell me anything. So let me just be honest. Las Vegas is a one-of-a-kind city. It has so much to offer. Beyond the neon lights, world-class entertainment. Did you know that more shrimp is eaten in Las Vegas every week than the rest of the country combined? You got some really affordable housing options for now. They're actually going up. We got no state income taxes, vibrant community, military-friendly businesses. So whether you're drawn to the laid-back suburban lifestyles down in Henderson or prefer the hustle and bustle of the Vegas Strip nearby, there's always a home that's going to fit your lifestyle and budget. Hope this ultimate guide to use your VA loan in Las Vegas helped out a bunch and answered some of your questions, because there's a lot of great advantages using your VA loan. You're well on your way to owning a piece of this incredible city. And if you're a veteran or your military PCSing in, I'm here to help. I help with doing your virtual tours and everything else. I did it myself. Nobody did any virtual tours for me. I actually traveled and did my house hunting tours and everything, but I've helped a lot of veterans with the virtual tours, especially PCSing in overseas. I PCSed here overseas myself. Again, my name is Eric Hudson. I'm a veteran, call signs Nuke, retired out of Creech Air Force Base. Call, text, email, information is down below. Found this video useful, call, subscribe, or like, comment, all that stuff. Information is down below, pin, comment. You'll see this in all my videos, all my military brothers and sisters. Alpha, Mike, Foxtrot. More than half my viewers are not military related because I put out really great information. I'm also right now putting out ultimate guide for you guys so you know everything about PCSing here, because the sponsorship program here is weak. So you'll know everything that you need to know, okay? So stay tuned, like it. I'm going to see y'all next week, okay? Oh, I forgot to say this to the non-military folks. We're going to keep them lights on for you because we still love you.